Have you seen the athlete, artist, or CEO who they've achieved that big goal, and yet once they get there, they're still feeling like they're not enough, they're an imposter, they haven't accomplished anything. What's with that? We'll get into that in just a minute. But if this is your first time here, let me introduce myself. My name is Valerie Pugsley, and I help entrepreneurs and side hustlers gain confidence, focus, and momentum by helping them navigate through the self-sabotage of procrastination, perfectionism, and overwhelm. Now, let's get into the video. When you're pursuing a goal, like a lot of times an athlete might be pursuing a certain trophy or a championship thing, or an artist, let's think of like your music artists, they want a certain amount of recognition, or CEO trying to get to that certain level or certain dollar amount. And then they get there and they're still feeling empty. They haven't achieved, or maybe their relationships are a mess as a result of getting there. Some of them, their lives will just combust, right? Especially this, you'll see this happen with athletes a lot. Goals without a powerful why will result in either missing them altogether or achieving them and then still feeling empty and unsatisfied once you get there. And you're always on this path of striving for more, more, more. So what's the solution? I find that when you're setting up a goal, asking yourself the question, why is this important? And the advice varies as to how many times you need to ask yourself this question. Some will say 3, 5, 7. I find at least 5 before we get to that level. What happens with those first few is that they're usually superficial, and they also can be helpful, especially if you're doing this on a day-to-day thing. So while we're talking bigger goals here, if you have something that you're procrastinating with, that's a day-to-day or a short-term goal, ask yourself why it's important. Because the other thing that happens when we start asking ourselves, why is this important, is you might discover that it's not. It's not important. That's why you're not getting it done. Get rid of it. You might also discover that it's somebody else's goal and you really don't want to do it. Now, if you're in a position where it's related to your job, you might still have to do it. But if you have control over the decision, let it go. But if it really is an important goal, as you start getting deeper to why it's important, you'll still have personal reasons why it's important, but as you get deeper, you'll start seeing that really that personal reason is connected to a reason outside of yourself. It involves somebody else. And at first, that's going to be your family. But when we get even beyond that into a larger sphere of people, whether within your local community or a certain type of people, as you get there, that's where you get really to the heart of something that is meaningful. So an example of one of my goals, why I do what I do, I want to help people who've been trafficked and in abusive situations, because their abusers have programmed their minds in such a way that they could actually do the things to them that they're doing. And so it's important early in their rescue for them to realize that they have the power now to program their brain and give them some healthy prompts on how to do that. That helps motivate me beyond the tech issues, the income issues, all the issues, right? And so your why needs to be big enough that you'll push through the I'm tired, etc. So how do you know when you've reached your why? If you're doing it yourself, you can ask yourself this question, why is this important? And first of all, you'll know partly because the answers are a little slower in coming as you get closer, but you'll also sense a change in your voice. So as you're speaking it out, you might hear a difference. You might feel it in your body. Wherever you feel your emotions, you'll feel it, that something's different's happening. It comes out. It comes out in energy. Your energy will shift and change. And that's how you know. And that's when I'm working with clients, sometimes I'll even hear, a quiver in their voice, right? Tears will almost come up. And so now you know what's why and why it's important. And so I encourage you to get somebody to help you with this, whether it's a friend, whether you just do it with a friend, or you get a coach to help you. Or maybe you ask in a mastermind where they can hold the space and help ask those questions. And if you already have a big why that's important to you, I would love to hear about it. And is it for your business? Is it for your side hustle um, or something else? Let me know in the chat. And there's another video around here somewhere about why and finding your why and why it's important.